J.R. Smith so he won the championship, and he did in Cleveland.
I absolutely love it, and J.R. Smith is one of my favorite players, honestly, especially after he held the ball and disgraced LeBron's legacy in that playoff game. So I'm going to go ahead and start off. I'm going to assume that you had J.R. Smith at number 1 then?
Yeah, so my list right here, I'm pulling it up. I know I had it on my –
You were okay.
Yeah, so I got number 1, J.R. Smith. Do we go my 10 or are we going back and forth?
You can go your 10, and then most people that know mine know it for last week. I'll run mine really quick after you finish, and we'll kind of see how different we are with each other.
Okay. I got number 1, J.R. Smith.
Okay.
Right here. Number 2, Earl Joseph Smith. Number 3,
I do believe that is another name for J.R. Smith for those of you listening at home.
Number 3, Earl Smith III. Number 4, J.R. Hennessy. Number 5, the Pipe God. Number 6, the guy that said you try to get the pipe. Number 7, J.R. Swish, right here. Number 8, anything is possible, also known as J.R. Number 9, the dude that messed up the guy that was breaking into his truck last week, J.R.
That's a reference to J.R. Smith, yep.
And number 10, Reggie Jackson.
So, for those of you listening, those are all acronyms for the J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith should definitely be flattered. I will definitely be tagging him in this episode for sure because you are probably his number 1 fan. Have you had the chance to meet J.R.?
I haven't. I don't know what I do. So imagine, he's known for not wearing a shirt, and if you see me without a shirt, that's an interesting look too. So if those two worlds collided, that would be the best, like just skin swap or just like shirt swap, whatever we do. I don't know.
Well, and if you know that you're meeting him, you definitely have to get a neck tattoo or something before you meet him.
Oh, I gotta like do it all. I gotta do like if I ever got a tattoo, I probably just took a jar of peanut butter. I don't know. I always thought that was hard.
So I here's what I did. I just showed up with a couple of different tattoos in my house and let my mom be disgraced with me.
There we go.
So if you ever do have those options, just go somewhere with a blank slate and say, put something on my body, and just then come home. Yep. And then just come home to your mom and act like nothing happened. Because that's what I did, and it's worked out for me oh so well.
Yes. So, and number 10, Reggie Jackson.
Yes,
he's still one of my favorites.
I was just about to say, number 10, I love the fact that you rounded this off with Reggie Jackson. I do think going into your list, I think Patrick Beverley is someone that might be able to hop into your list as well. Yeah. We did talk about the other day, we talked about Mr. Joey Ingles, the left-handed dad bod out of Utah. So there's a couple of different players I see that could scoop into your list there.
I think Reggie Jackson is one of the most underappreciated point guards of our time. I remember when Russell during the Thunder, Russell got hurt, so it was Reggie Jackson and Durant, and they were balling out for like 3 games. And I remember Russell Westbrook was so jealous. Like they were like, you would talk to like Reggie, do you have some tips? Like, Reggie Jackson, who's that? It was like the year after like he got traded to Detroit. He was so salty. That's why I knew like Reggie made it. Because if you can make Russell like so mad. We're one of the best point guards of all time.
So do you fall into, because a lot of people, what they do, especially with sports today, is they take, the bigger names. And do you like to find those misfits in the NBA? And is that where you like to follow as a fan? Do you like to follow the guys that don't get a lot of love that deserve it?
100%, because whenever I hoop at YMCA or LA Fitness, I'm either picked last or not picked, or I'm told 3 games in a row you got next. So I know I'm talented. I know there's a lot of talented guys in the NBA that don't get their spotlight. So I always root for the underdogs.
See, I appreciate that. I was just actually about to ask if that was like a personal thing, because that's kind of how you were probably casted as the outcast kind of guy, like you said, the pick last kind of guy. And it's kind of like there's talent there. And clearly you have talent because you're at Barstool and you've been there for more than, 6 months. So if you're at a job for more than 6 months, like my dad said, you're successful. All right. So, so clearly you have all that talent. I absolutely love your list. When you sent it to me the other day, I lost it. That was my all-time favorite thing. I told my buddies last week, of course, all my buddies sent me a bunch of different lists, and we were talking. And I told them, if you don't have LeBron James, in my eyes, number one overall, 26.6 points a game, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. Like, to me, I of course have to keep LeBron at the top. I've always been a LeBron guy. But I'm kind of like you. I like the kind of outcast, the kind of guys that don't get a lot of love. Joey Ingles is one of my biggest inspirations in life. I love the fact that he looks like he can't do anything, and then he goes out there and he can just ball out. I think I saw the B fly by.
Yeah, you saw that. That was just like dun 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 on the edit. LeBron's a goat. There's no debating.
I just put out a LeBron versus Jordan episode. It's actually it's been my highest episode so far, and I indeed came out with the fact that LeBron's the GOAT. When I broke it down, he leads in 43 statistical categories to Michael Jordan's 13. And so it's kind of like between that and the rings, I had to keep LeBron number one as the GOAT overall.
Has anyone ever told you kind of sound and look like, or not, you sound like a young Skip Bayless if he actually had like brain cells, if he actually knew what he was talking about.
So
I hear it.
I actually have had somebody say that I sound like Skip Bayless, and I didn't believe it until now, until I have someone that is in the sports world letting me know that I sound like Skip. And like you said, I hope and pray to everybody that listens, I hope you all know I have more brain cells and I know more about sports than Skip Bayless.
Hey, man, he's just paid to be dumb. If the cash comes in, then so be it.
My favorite, and I'm guilty of watching the Skip and Shannon debates, but it makes me laugh.
Not watching.
I mean, it makes me laugh because I think at some point Shannon's just got to be like, I can't believe I'm working with this person because he might be the dumbest person that's ever walked this earth. So I purposely tear apart the Cowboys any chance I get just strictly to give Skip Bayless a big middle finger. But yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, Skip Bayless, if I can get, 2% of his fame and his money, I'm okay for the rest of my life. All right.
No kidding.
But yeah, I went LeBron, Giannis, Kawhi, James Harden, Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and then Paul George. With my two specialties, I had Russell Westbrook coming in at 11, Luka coming in at 12. Our lists are a little bit different, but hey, I appreciate the fact that JR gets so much love, and I appreciate the fact that the world finally gets to recognize how good Reggie Jackson is. And I will forever cement Reggie Jackson as my number 2 overall for the GOAT status now, because I forgot about that series until you mentioned it. And yeah, Reggie Jackson, I mean, he's with the Clippers now. So the Clippers, they're looking a little bit dangerous.
Loaded.
Yeah, coming from a LeBron fan, I'm a little bit nervous for the Lakers to meet up with the Clippers this year.
I don't even know. That's the thing about the NBA now. Like this whole new format, this whole new just like players are not wanting to play, and obviously they're all not going to be physically in shape. It's going to be weird.
And that's actually what we're going to lead into right now is on top of everything going on. And for those of you who are listening, I will make sure to get his list posted and my list posted out whenever we post out these episodes. Whenever this
your list,
comes out tomorrow.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good basketball.
I've got some. They're okay. It goes LeBron, and then it's like all the way back down.
Irrelevant.
I don't know if you've heard of this Steph Curry guy, but he's all right. He's okay.
Yeah, he plays for the Blazers, right? Seth? You say Seth Curry?
I think it's Seth. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's all right. Number 30.
Well, we actually found out last week that the NBA is coming out with they've come out with the playoff format and the regular season format that they're finishing with. For those of you who don't know, it's 22-team playoff format. They're going to do an 8-game play into the playoffs. 8th and 9th seed, if they're within 3 or 4 games of each other, they'll have like a March Madness kind of feel where they'll go head-to-head to get that last spot in the playoff. So I kind of want to get your thoughts on the NBA playoff format because, like I said, game recognizes game, and I need another baller to help guide me through this on what's your thoughts on it. And then they're trying to add a couple of different advantages to the home team and a couple of different new rule changes that they're trying to get in there. So I'll get your opinion on the playoff format, and then we'll go into some of these weird changes that they're trying to make.
Okay.
All right, so your thoughts on the 22-team playoff format and then the 8-game play-in. Like, hate?
For me, overall, just like it's still gonna feel weird seeing it, and just like realizing like, wow, that hasn't really been NBA since March, and like, but to me, I personally thought they should have just called it a season and waited till October again. But at the same time, it does seem like this whole virus like slowing down. People are getting better, so they're trying to do everything back to normal. But it seems rushed to me. I'm like, we'll see it soon. Can you imagine like NBA Finals in Orlando and no fans? To me, it just comes down to it's just gonna be weird.
I feel like there are some sports where you can definitely do it with no fans. There are sports where you can like UFC. I think has done a beautiful job. Every fight has been enjoyable to watch. It hasn't startled me that there's not been fans there. I think NBA and NFL, those are two in college football. Those are three huge platforms where I don't know that no fans is going to be okay for us to watch.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be very uneasy for the local fan. And basketball and especially college football, it's very fan driven. The NFL, it's hit or miss. There's a couple, teams and stadiums like the Seahawks play very good at home. The Pittsburgh Steelers play very good at home. But especially in the NBA, I think that, being in your home crowd and home court advantage is a massive deal. In college football, these kids are, 19 and 20, they play for the fans. They're there to put on a show for all their friends and all their different classmates. So I don't know how I'm glad that sports is coming back, because as someone who loves sports with everything in me, I can't go any more months without something going on. And I refuse to fall into the NASCAR trend where all these people are picking up watching NASCAR on Sundays just to fill the void. So I don't mind that NBA is coming back. I kind of agree with what you said. I would have probably scratched the season and, maybe just pushed it to October and just restarted then. I don't know if it's going to have that big of an effect money-wise for it to even be worth it for the NBA. You're going to get a ton of local views, but a lot of the money they bring in for playoff tickets and stuff like that is going to be greatly affect what the NBA does for playoffs. So I like it a little bit just because I like sports selfishly, but I'm not so sure that everything's going to pan out to be the best. And they are doing a couple things that I don't like. They're trying to change some rules or add some rules, and they're trying to do some different things for home court advantage. So I'll kind of bounce a couple of these off of you, and you tell me what you think. First and foremost, we've got adding an extra coaches challenge. So that would give each coach 2 coaches challenge for a duration of a game. I personally hate coaches challenges in the NBA, and I hate reviews in the NFL because they do such a horrible job. I said it last week, whoever the hell runs the review and the reviewing for tennis needs to go ahead and take over the NBA and the NFL, because tennis can get you an incredible line shot in 7 seconds after it happens. And we spend 35 minutes in the NBA and in the NFL trying to dictate if it was a clear pass interference, #Saints. So,
pass interference challenges are worthless.
Exactly. And so what do you think about adding an extra coaches challenge to the NBA?
If they're going to keep it the same, 5-minute commercial break out of it, then no, I'm not for it.
I 100% agree. I don't need any more Rogaine commercials or Shaq with his icy hot to tell me that the play is not going to change when I come back from that long break.
You got back player too? Who's the most? I use icy hot for my back, so I can relate to Shaq, but I don't really mind seeing those commercials.
My favorite Shaq commercials are the Kias, because I know he definitely can't fit in a Kia, and the fact that he's selling me that car is, I'm just like, I'm like, it's a tight fit for me. I was like, I'm 6 foot. It's a tight fit for me, let alone you.
Even Blake Griffin, he probably barely fit in that too.
Yeah, Blake Griffin can jump over him, but there ain't no way he can fit in a Kia. They've also talked about adding an extra foul. To me, it's completely pointless, because their mentality is that they'll be able to give it to a player on the bench and he'll be able to come in and be more aggressive. But at the end of the day, if he comes out there and he's fouling, someone's going to a free throw line And as long as it's not LeBron with 30 seconds to go in the game,
Yeah.
Basically everybody in the NBA can shoot free throws pretty decently. So I just feel like it's going to slow the game down if you just have